Hmm. Hmm. Anime reference. Hope somebody gets it. Anyways, good morning. Shmoney here. Today I'm going to have a quick discussion about awareness. So the talk about the real ID and the fact that a couple of weeks ago I had an interesting night to where I lost my phone and my wallet. Yes, I know I'm recording. This is just a phone I use for content, Wi-Fi. So if you're trying to contact me, no, I'm not ignoring you. And but like having my ID missing and stuff like that, and the recent video that I posted, and just my relationship with the internet overall has made me think about a few things. And I already mentioned before that I had some instances where, excuse me, I had some instances where I did have a more abstract fan base that was starting to build up, and even though that's fizzled out, certain people still keep up with you. Not everyone disappears when you start to lose traction. So when I would get, certain messages saying, some of them saying like, I love you, I appreciate you, and things like that. And even sometimes saying that I was receiving gifts of some sort, which doesn't seem logical. But then when you realize that my internet security was absolutely garbage back then, it's actually something that's pretty probable. And I would even sometimes get told to like, oh, go enjoy your gifts. And they wouldn't make sense in context, and I would usually ignore it. But after it became a consistent theme, I started to think that maybe I was getting sent something and it was getting intercepted. Either way, I never paid too much attention to it. But it was just kind of a thing on like a tick on the list that of like things that I was like reviewing when I was remembering things about my interactions overall within the past year. So, besides that, my interactions that I've had with people, hacking certain parts of my accounts, making me follow them, yada, 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 it makes me think if someone can do that when it comes to apps, that means that they can sort of do that with your information overall. And we know phones aren't necessarily secure. So, honestly, on my part, that's on me because I should really be having more security apps on my phone, but like actual ones. Like you have to get the good ones. You have to like ask your tech bestie because they usually know the best ones. Because if you go online, they'll give you a bunch of recommendations, but it's usually just like, in my opinion, it's just bots. So the best recommendation for certain things, especially when it's to protect your person, comes from another person. Um, but besides that, there has been some chatter, um, not super recently, but in the past about there being some adult content that resembles me. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of adults enjoy that. I do too. Enjoy like looking at it, of course. But I would never make that myself because I know I wouldn't be getting the bag. Like straight up, I just know I am a handsome man, but I just know I wouldn't be getting the bag. So like I wouldn't. So if you see something that resembles me, just know that it isn't. And if you see a person that sort of resembles me, just know that they aren't me. And I feel like that's something that I have to state because the internet seems like a boundless place, and people who are infringing on your privacy and your person, the audacity is growing and they're getting more comfortable. And I get a lot of I get sort of not messages per se all the time, but it's kind of similar to the presentation of like the harassment of when I would have when I would be forced to follow pages that are obviously more conservative, and it would be messages to share. I wouldn't understand what, but one thing I will not share is my identity, and no one ever should. Um, well, unless you're like a twin or something. But that's different. You're still two different people. So yeah, but I just wanted to state for the facts because I don't necessarily have the resources to actively look into those things, and those are just passing things. But those are things to keep an eye on. That I am a man that is in Texas, so I think that's as personal as necessary. But I think that makes a good point, just in case that there's anything that can come up from any other place. Um, and I myself am looking into proper ways to prevent these things, and not just obvious of downloading apps or whatever, because sometimes those apps themselves can be a risk to your device. So it's really about finding out, like what I said, it's about finding what works. And I've been working on how I want to navigate um, not just communicating online, but communicating with people in general. I don't know if some of you noticed, but people have complained about, like, even just taking Ubers when they're alone, about drivers pressing for information in conversation, not even saying hello, how are you, yada yada, just straight up asking questions and then making the air awkward when you don't reply. And and I assure you, there's nothing wrong with not replying. You, like, people like me, like if I don't have my headphones in, I feel rude if I don't reply. But sometimes just don't, because it's not worth engaging with. And you know, I mean, to put it frank, like some people be weird like that. So it's not necessarily wrong of you to disengage from certain communication styles. So it's just disengaging from certain, like certain, just not talking to people like that, or just not responding when people ask you something out of the blue like that, because you never know these days. And when technology grows, people's creativity grows in all ways. So yeah, that's just like the little update I wanted to tell you guys. And I hope you guys have, like I said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and stay safe.